Heidi ho, my crafty friends. This is Lori at the Ladybug Journals. How are you today? So, I was just sitting here playing and making a mess, and I thought, why don't I just show my friends, bring them around the craft table and show them what kind of mess I'm making. So today, we're going to create one of these. It's an altered playing card, and I've just painted on it. So, I love to do these because I can make them look any way I want. So what I've done is actually I just took a piece of my watercolor paper, because at the time I didn't have any playing cards, and I cut it to the size of a playing card. And then I covered it with book paper, front and back. It's just old book paper. Now if you have a playing card and you want to do that, then that's fine. But for those that maybe don't have any old playing cards, this is an alternative that you can use. Just cut a piece of watercolor paper, and let me tell you the size here. You need to cut it height-wise. You need to cut it 3.5 inches. Width-wise, you need to cut it 2.5. So this is 3.5 tall and 2.5 wide. And you can round the corners if you want. That's usually what I do. And then you want the paper to dry completely. And then after the paper is completely dry, you want to put on either a coat of your clear gesso, or I usually prefer using my matte medium is what I use. I put on a coat of matte medium on the side that I'm going to play with. And then after the matte medium's dry, then you can start. Now what I have here is I've smushed on my cereal bag. I've taken my ink pads and I've just, gone like this and got them wet. Now you can use your water brush, or you can use a little paintbrush, whatever you prefer. Now for this, I like using my water brush. And I've just gotten this wet and I've just tapped it out. Okay. And then I just use my dryer and I get that dried. That's my background. Oops, I see a spot here. I didn't get all the way dry. Now you can just let this sit and dry if you want, or like this, I used some watercolors to give me a little bit of background. Okay, but I've done them bigger. So let me show you my bigger ones. This is coffee. This is actually coffee. And this is a coffee dyed piece of book page that I've done. And I've also done this one. And this is coffee dyed paper. And then I took the gesso and I took the space that was going to be where my glass was. The size that I wanted to make my flower. And I lightly gessoed, just lightly, because I still wanted to see it. And I gessoed it out. And then in my background, I took the pinks and the greens and my watercolors, and I used those in the backgrounds. So you can make them bigger. And in here, I used watercolors. Okay. Now, you want to pull out anything that's water soluble for this project. So I have out my watercolors. I have out my Distress crayons by Tim Holtz. I have out a couple different sets of watercolors, including my Artistro metallic ones. I love playing with these. These are so much fun. I usually leave them in the box when I'm on camera because this gets a little glary. But I also have, and these are a lot of fun to play with, and they're still available, I think, online. They're by Crayola. I also think you can get them in Michael's. They're Crayola crayons. They're adult crayons, but they're water soluble. Let me get a hold of them here. And they're called Signatures. And these are a lot of fun to play with. They have a fat tip they have this fat tip like that. And to get it to come up, you twist down here and it comes up. And they're real soft and creamy, and they're water soluble. You can also spread them, you know, use your finger. So they can be very messy. So what else are we going to need? Well, you're definitely going to need your baby wipes, because you're going to have to clean up this if you do what I just did. Otherwise, it's going to be all over you. You're going to need a pencil. You're going to need a bigger brush. You're going to need a brush like this. Just an old paintbrush to put your matte medium or your clear gesso on. You're going to need a dryer, or like I said, it can just sit and dry if you're not in a hurry. It can just sit and dry. All right, so let's get this off of here. And you're going to need your watercolors. And if watercolors all you have, that's not a problem. Okay, so I don't need this. I can put those away. And feel free to use ink pads for your background colors. They are a lot of fun, and they add some really fun colors. You don't need glue. You don't need anything like that for this. So my sleeves are going up, but you will need a pencil. So let's decide what we're going to draw. I love drawing this little flower. It's like a little lily that I grow in my garden, and it's not an exact replica, so you can draw anything you want. You can draw a bird, you can draw flowers. Right now I have so much stinking snow coming down. You could draw a snowflake. You can draw anything you want, but I'm looking forward to spring, so I'm gonna draw my little lily again, and we're gonna put these in our journals. So how do we do this? Well, you look at your card. Now remember, it's only 3.5 inches tall. Now let me move my water out of the way here. It's only 3.5 inches tall. So you want to be sure you have room for your stem if you're doing a flower, or if you're just doing the top piece of it, blow it out over the edges, because that looks really nice. So for me to do this, and I do them different all the time, I'm going to start at the top, and I know you're not going to be able to see my pencil line, but you will once I get started. I do this top part first. I do my top part, and then I start on these leaves. Okay? And I bring everything into the middle, and then I start over here on my sides. And like I said, it's different every single time. It looks different every single time. And that's okay with me. I don't have a problem with that. So now I have these two. So now I want 2 more. And I'm coming in. And think of it as a doodle, okay? Because it's not really whoops. I got a little shaky hand today. It's not a, it's not an exact replica of your flower. It's just something that makes you think of your flower. Okay? If that's what you're doing. So if you're doing something like I'm doing, just remember that. It's not your exact flower. It's just something that makes you think of it. So now I'm doing my 2 bottom ones. And now I'm going to do the middle one. So my middle one is going to come down. And it's kind of like a little teardrop. And I made him way too long. Okay, so my teardrop needs to come up and down like that. So these guys need to come in right there. So once I get my little teardrop in, I'm going to erase everything in the middle. Everything else being Now, I know you can't see my pencil lines, but everything being water soluble, you're going to be able to see your pencil marks. So make sure you erase anything that, you know, meets in the middle. Okay. Now I'm going to put my stem in, and I'm going to bring my stem down. And I'm just lightly drawing my stem. Now, where do I want my leaf coming off of? Well, I have this one on my left. I think I want this one to come off of my right because I have more room. So I'm going to bring my stem up, and my lilies, they're called Japanese water lilies. And they have this long, tall leaf. It's really long and skinny. There. It's just going right off the page. And up here, when I'm finished with it, is when I'll add these fine details. Those little things. Okay? So the only thing you're going to need that isn't water soluble are two pens, a black one and a white one, to do your fine details. Now, I either use my Artistro extra fine point, they're acrylic pens, or I use my Uniballs. I have a black one and a white one, and they're 0.7 millimeters. All the rest of them are my big ones. I only have, oh, that's my chalk writer. That's not what I wanted. I have a black one and a white one. They're the only two I have, and they get done what I need to get done. So you can use either of those. You can use a fine tip Sharpie. I don't recommend using your Uniball gel pens because they are water soluble and they'll move around. If you have to do anything else to this, they will get they'll get all squishy on you. So don't use this unless it's your very final step. Okay? Okay, so this is going to go off to the side. So now let's start here. So what are we going to do first? First thing we need to do is decide on our colors. And in between each color, you're going to do another layer of your, now I want to keep that moist. You're going to do another layer, a light layer of your, either your clear gesso or your matte medium. That sets it so nothing else moves it. Okay, so this one, I think I want to use, in my distress crayons, I have this color called Winter Frost, and it is such a pretty color. So I think I want to try using it. Now, isn't that a pretty color? So I want to try using it. Now, I always start in the middle and work my way out. So I'm going to start here. Ooh, that's a pretty color. And I start like this. Now, you can start however you choose, using whatever medium you choose. But this is how I start. I mark them like that, and I don't mark the middle yet because I'm going to have plenty by the time I'm done here. And then I take my pen, and I know I have water in my pen, but I want to start it this way. And then I just want to start moving this out. And the more I get on it, the more it's going to move. And if I need more, I can go back and put more on it. So this is how you're going to do your flower. You're just going to keep adding layers. Okay, and in between layers, you add another layer of your matte medium or your clear gesso. Okay, so I need some more of this. Or I want more of it. I don't need it. I guess I want more. is that? Until I get it where I want it. Okay. Now I'm going to dry this, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to add another layer of something else. Okay. So that's what we have so far. Doesn't look like much, does it? Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm going to dry it, add my matte medium, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so what I did was I added my coat of matte medium to my flower only, okay, because I didn't want the blue to spread all over the card. And then I added the matte medium over the entire card. And now I'm drying the entire card with the little heat craft tool. So I need to get this off of here because I made a mess. Y'all knew I would. So here's what it looks like so far. Okay. So now I think I'm going to bring you guys down so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay. So that's what it looks like so far. Okay. So now your second layer is going to be either the same color, a different color, whatever you want. But now you can start on your middle. So my centers are always a different color. They're usually a golden color. I like my centers to stand out a little bit. But I'm also going to add to my petals. I wanted to add. Okay, I have a purple. I have that one. Where's the purple? That's one of the greens I want to use. Where's that purple I wanted? Oh, here it is. It's over here. So it's in the Crayola. So it's the Crayola Signature Purple. Okay. So we're going to blend it in with the blue. Now you're thinking, how are you going to blend it if you've already dried it? Well, I'm going to show you. Now where'd the blue go I just had? Okay, here's the Winter Frost, and here's the purple. So we've already got one layer of Winter Frost. Okay, now we've got this purple, and it's just called Violet. I think they just name them after their crayons. So now I'm going to take this Winter Frost, and this is the Distress Crayon, and we're going to add it. We're going to bring it so that it comes in, and I'm just adding just a little bit because I want to be able to blend them together. Because the first layer muted out a little bit with the ink that was on the card. So I want this to get a little bit brighter. So now that ink is sealed, it can't run anymore. So now we're going to add a little bit more of the blue and a little bit more of the purple. And we're just going to keep blending until we get the color that we want. And sometimes this can take you, you're going to end up maybe doing 2-3 coats of the same color until you get something that you like. And you might add a color that you think, nah, I'm not going to like that. Like on this one, I ended up adding the gold in the center. On one of the big pictures I showed you, I accidentally put in a yellow. And it was like, oh, I didn't want to add that yellow. But once I added it, it made a really big difference to the look of the petals. So I'll be able to show you here how I add the matte medium to these petals after I get this in here, because we're going to do the center also, because I'm going to get the gold. Is we're going to pull some of this out of the middle. Okay, so I'm just rinsing off the brush a little bit. Now I'm going to take the brush and I'm going to drag it right through the middle. Just like that. See how I wiped it off? I just want to drag it right through the middle. And whatever comes, comes. I'm not, I'm not forcing it. I want it to go off to the sides. There we go. Because I got a big blob on this one. There we go. Right there. Now this one's okay, but it's also got a blob. That my pencils must be getting warm. Okay. Now let's wipe this off. Let me get that blue off of there. That's better. Okay, now let me grab the, now let's get the green. Oh wait, we need to seal that first, don't we? Okay, let me get the gold and let me show you how to do the gold. Okay, so this middle's going to have the gold and the outer layers of this are going to have the gold. Now, this is going to spread if I do it now, but I wanted to show you what they look like here. So they just say on an antique bronze, brushed pewter, and tarnished brass. So we're going to use those, but first we have to put our layer of matte medium. So to do that on something this small, I use a small brush. I don't use the brush I've been spreading my color with. I use a small brush and I just dip in, and then I come to the color and I just paint it on. And it's going to spread a little bit because it's liquid. And that's okay. But you pull it the way that you want it to go. That you want your color to go. And only go over it once. Okay. Don't keep brushing back and forth on it. So once I got my blob on there, that's it. I'm done with that petal. Blob down. Pull it out. I'm done. Oops. Okay. Let's see if we can get that pulled back out. Oh dear. I think I just messed up my own petal. Okay. Now rinse your brush off as soon as you're finished. Okay. And then dry that area. Okay. Now I'm going to dry it. Okay. Now it's time to start working on the little guy. So we need our winter frost, we need our purple, and we're going to be adding our gold to everything. So our winter frost is going to go around the bottom. Okay. And we're going to drag it up. And then the purple is going to go on top. Where'd it go? Here it is. And now you're going to blend them together all the way up to the top. Now your goal is to make this top piece look like it's in front of that piece. So okay, let's get the little brush and see if we can't maneuver this over here a little bit. Okay, too much water. All right, too much water on there. Let's dab some of the water off. And let's put some more on. Okay. And blend it in. There we go. Now we're blending and all the water's off this brush. That's better. Okay, we're going to use the matte medium to blend it. So just a little bit of matte medium. And we're going to seal this. And as you can see, the matte medium's pulling it. And it's pulling it all the way up. And I'm going to do just like I did the others, right through the middle. Just like that. Okay. Now, get the matte medium off my brush. Okay, I'm going to dry this centerpiece. Okay, now let's go on and do our stem and our leaf, and then we'll do the gold and we'll dry it and we'll be finished. So for the stem, I want to use the Rustic Wilderness. Let's get some things off the table here. Let me turn it this way so you can see it better. So I'm going to bring this down here and all the way up. And my friend Christy's saying, that's too much, that's too much. I think that's too much water. Okay, I want to spread it. Okay, you can make this as dark or as light as you want to make it. Totally up to you. Okay, now I'm going to put the matte medium on here. I need to get this dry real quick. Okay, let me pick you up here for a second because it's going to be a little bit loud. And again, we're going to use our little brush. Okay, and that's done. Okay, everything has matte medium on it now. So now let's decide, where do we want to put some gold up here? And I know I keep saying gold. This one looks like the most gold to me, or this one. So I think I'm going to go with the tarnished brass. Let's look at this one. Ooh, I like that one. But I think I'm going to go with the other one. Ooh, that's the wrong top, I think. Oh, maybe not. Well, now I don't know. Nope, I think it's that one. Oh, that's interesting. They only fit the one they fit. Okay, so in here, I'm just going to put some right here in the middle. And then here, I'm going to run them right through the center. And I'm not going to worry about how much or how little. I'm just using my finger to spread them out. See, I'm just smearing them with my finger. Just like that. If you have watercolors, you can use your watercolors. Like I got out my watercolor set. I could use it if I wanted. But I'm kind of having fun with these distress crayons. I don't ever get to use these, so these are kind of fun. And I like the way this smeared look is. Okay, so here's this. Okay, so there's that on there. All right, so you know the routine. We're going to seal it up. And then when we come back, I'm going to put the final details so we can see everything. Because right now you can't tell where where all the petals are. Because they're all kind of blending together. So let's seal this up. See, and as you do your layers, they stop running together, because now the only layer that isn't sealed is your top layer. Okay, so let's seal this top layer. Now, if you decide that your background is too brown, or your background doesn't have that look that it started with, you can, at this point, you can, create a mask for your flower, and you can do that all over again, because mine does not. And I liked the look that mine had, but I forgot to seal it. And I also forgot that sealing it would take away from all those fine dots that I had created. So I need to do that all over again. So now I'm going to take my Posca pen, my fine tip Posca. Okay, I don't need my matte medium anymore, but I'm going to take my fine tip Posca. Okay, it's down and it's ready to roll. Okay, whoops. Well, that was not a good thing. I just pulled the nib out. Oh my gracious. Let me make sure it's not gonna. Okay, and I need to be really careful here. And all I'm doing is this. Kind of giving my eye a place to look. Telling my eye that this is where the petals break, and this is where the petals start. Okay, I'm not going to outline it like a coloring book outline. Okay, so I'm done with that one. Now, my white one. Since my white one is not close at hand, and this is going to be my last layer, I'm going to use my white Yeah, this is the one. I'm going to use my white, maybe. Oh, this must not be the one I've used yet. That's my chalk pen. I keep grabbing for my chalk pen. Where's my one I've already used? It must be this one, but it's marked, so let's make sure here. Here it comes. If you don't use your gel pens after you've started using them, they will dry up. And it has been a while since I've used this one, so I got to bring it back. I got to bring him back down. Oh, that's a horrible noise. So I need to take this and I need to highlight in here where this gold area is. Okay, so there is my card. Now to get all my little dots back that I had created earlier, I'm going to have to mask off my card. Oh my gosh, I have that ink everywhere now. I'm going to have to mask off my card that I just painted, and I'm going to have to do that all over again. So I need to decide, is that worth it? Or, you know, do I want to maybe do some watercolors, which I might want to do because I know everything is done, and I know that they're not going to go anywhere. So maybe I'll just grab a couple of watercolors here and give myself a little background, because I don't like all that brown. So let's grab our watercolors here. Now I have not woken them up with my water, so we're just going to pick a color or two and wake them up real quick. It has been a while since we played with our watercolors, hadn't it? Golly, we're going to have to do that soon. All right, we're going to wake up these purples. Hello, boys. We're going to wake those up. And maybe this blue. Let's wake him up. Okay. All right, so let's go on and get that out of the water. Now, all we're going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to cover up that. Where'd my pen this go? Okay, I'm going to dip it in the water here. See if I can't get some watercolor here on my... I think you all can see what I'm doing here. I'm just putting a little bit of watercolor here on my cereal bag. A little bit of blue. And maybe a little bit of this purple. Here, we're going to wake this one up too over here. There you go, big guy. Wake up. We're going to let him wake up for a minute. Okay, so we're going to move this one out of the way. See if we maybe have enough. I'm not sure if we do or not. We might not. I might have to get some more. There we go. I think we're getting some. Okay. Yeah, we got some. All right, let's get some of this gold that I tried waking up here. I think I need a bigger brush for this. Let's try the bigger brush and see what that does. I don't know how this big fat brush is going to work, but you know what? Let's grab our fan brush. Let's see how that works. Come on, little man. You've been wanting to play all day, haven't you? Let's try our fan brush. Let's see what kind of a mess I can make on my desk. Oh dear. What is this color? Well, it says it's metallic gold, so I guess we're going to see, aren't we? All right. That'll work. Now we got a little bit of gold everywhere. Oh gosh, yes, I do. I got it all over the place, you guys. Oh well. Girls can never have too much gold. Okay, so there it is. There's our hand-painted altered playing card. Now that you know you can do it and have some fun, you can make a whole deck of them. And you can have some fun making them. Make your own deck. And you can have a good time and create whatever you want to create on them. I hope you had fun today. Sorry about that. Create whatever you want to create on them. Put some sunflowers on them. If your yard looks anything like mine, I got about 5 inches of snow right now. A sunflower sounds like a really good thing to put out on them. You can put a sunflower on them. You can put a water lily. You can do whatever you choose. But I just hope you have some fun and you take the time to play in your journal. Because we're going to continue working in it. And here in 1925, oh my gosh, yeah, I really have lost it. The snow's fried my brain. Here in 2025, we're going to be talking about what our plans are for the year and all the fun that we're going to be having. We have another journal in the works that's going to be our little calendar so that we can kind of keep track of things and you guys can help me plan and see what's going on. So we can have some fun together. So I'm so glad that you joined me today here at the craft table. And I also hope that you make one of these. And if you do, post it over on the Instagram page so that I can see what you made. And we can share it with everybody. And until I see you again in our next video, don't forget, you can give me a thumbs up. You can leave me a comment. And you can share this video with your friends because, you know, they might like to make one too. And until I see you again in our next video, ta-ta for now.